Hi, first grade. Mrs. Bentley is back with another minivan moment, and today we are going to have a punctuation party. We are talking about revising and editing our fiction stories and how punctuation plays a really important part in giving orders to your readers. When people read your story, they need the directions of how to use their voice to read it. Punctuation gives them the directions that they need. We have learned lots of different punctuation in first grade already. Let's talk about a few things that we already know. A period. We put periods at the end of our complete sentences or our complete thoughts. I love books. Period. Maybe I'll get to be in a book one day. Period. Question marks. We can use question marks after we ask something. What day is it? Is it Friday yet? Listen to my voice when I ask the question. What day is it? Is it Friday yet? My voice goes up a little bit when I ask a question. When you read your writing, if your voice goes up a little bit, stop and think. Am I asking a question? This would be a good spot to put a question mark. Exclamation points are another type of punctuation that first graders love to use. You use exclamation points anytime something is really exciting or needs extra emotion. I'm ready for a wacky adventure. Woohoo! Notice at the end of woohoo, they put 3 exclamation points. First graders love to add more than one exclamation point, and that is great. 3 is the perfect number if something is extra exciting. Commas. Commas are a little bit tricky, but we use them to separate things that are 3 or more items. So, look at my sentence at the bottom of the screen. I like cookies, cupcakes, and cucumbers. I listed 3 things. I like cookies, comma, cupcakes, comma, and cucumbers. It lets your reader know they need to take a little breath. I like cookies, cupcakes, and cucumbers. Anytime you're listing 3 or more items, you need to separate the items by commas. Ellipsis. This is a really fun one to talk about, and first graders love to try to use ellipsis. We use ellipsis or 3 dots anytime we want to add suspense to our writing. All of a sudden, dot, dot, dot. The lights went out. We want our readers to stop and think, what's going to happen next? You can also use ellipsis if you're going to leave some information out. If something's too long to write and your readers already know what you're going to put there, you could use ellipsis. Look at the sentence at the bottom of the screen. She began to count. 1, 2, 3. My readers already know the numbers that come next. I don't need to write them all down. So I can use ellipsis. That lets my readers know the rest of the numbers, she counted them, but I don't have to write them all. She began to count 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 until she got to 10. We know the numbers that come between 3 and 10. We don't have to write them all down. Quotation marks. These are something we talked about in our dialogue writing last week. You use quotation marks to say or mark exactly the words that someone says. If your character is talking, you put the talking in quotation marks. Look at the sentence at the bottom. I like cookies, cupcakes, and cucumbers, said the comma. I like cookies, cupcakes, and cucumbers. Those are the exact words the comma said. So those words are inside quotation marks. Revising and editing is a really important step in writing. We need to reread our writing and make sure that it sounds right, that all of our punctuation is in the right spot so that our readers know exactly what to do when they read our story. We reread out loud to hear where the punctuation needs to be. And then we can do any fix-ups. When we reread our work and we fix it up, that's called editing or revising. First graders have been doing that all year long, and you can keep doing it even though you're writing from home. Let's try and see if we can match up the punctuation that I have on the screen. I have sticky notes on the side here. Let's see if we can decide which part of punctuation needs to go in the sentences I have here. This is a story about Snowball and Sam. Snowball is going outside and Sam's trying to tie her up. Let's read the first sentence and see if we can decide which piece of punctuation needs to go in the blank space. Snowball's fur was so puffy, tangled, and matted that Sam couldn't find her collar. Snowball's fur was 3 things: puffy, tangled, and matted. Remember, anytime we list 3 or more items, 3 or more things, we need something to separate them. What needs to go in the blank space there? If you said comma, you are exactly right. We need a comma after the word puffy. It's separating it and letting my reader know to take a little breath before they list the rest of the items. Puffy, tangled, and matted. Let's look at the next sentence. Where, oh, where is your collar? Sam asked Snowball. Did you hear my voice go up a little bit? It sure did. When my voice goes up a little bit when I'm reading, that's a really good clue that I'm asking a question. Where, oh, where is your collar? What punctuation goes at the end of that sentence? Question mark. Snowball licked Sam's face. That's the next sentence. And all of the punctuation is there. The author put a period at the end of their thought. Let's take a look at the next one. This one has 2 blank spaces. That's a really great clue. No licking, Sam said. Remember, when a character is saying words, they need to go inside of something. You're right. They need to go inside the quotation marks. Quotation marks need to go around the words no licking. Let's take a look at the next sentence. Snowball licked him again. What goes at the end of that sentence? Nice thinking. A period. That's just a thought. It's the end of my thought, so I need to make sure I mark it with a period. The next sentence says, no licking, Sam shouted. I tried to make my voice a little bit exciting. I showed a lot of emotion. No licking, Sam shouted. An exclamation point needs to go at the end of that sentence. What should I do? Sam asked himself. That sentence doesn't have any blank spaces, but it has 3 different pieces of punctuation. Do you notice that? Can you see the quotation marks, the question mark, and the period at the end of that? Nice job. The very last sentence says, if he didn't tie Snowball up, I kind of left my reader hanging. What goes there? You're right, ellipsis. Our reader's wondering, if he didn't tie Snowball up, what? What's going to happen? They're wondering, and that is the perfect way to use ellipsis. All right, let's talk about your assignment for this week. This week, your job is to have your very own punctuation party with your story. Pull out the story that you've been working on. Find a really fun colored pen or marker to be your party pen. Reread your story and listen for places that you want punctuation to be really special or where you forgot to add it in. Make any fix-ups you need to with your party pen, and then you're going to send those fix-ups to your teacher so that she can celebrate your punctuation practice. Look for places where you can add periods, exclamation points, question marks, commas, quotation marks. Maybe you'll even find a place to put in an ellipsis. First graders, you've been working so hard on your fiction stories, and we're going to celebrate this week. Celebrate today by practicing your punctuation, and on Thursday, we're going to celebrate by sharing our stories together. All right, happy writing!